this way. Are you touching me? Are you touching me? Are you touching me? Get the fuck Get the fuck off me. I'm not touching you. See your eyes already. Your fucking souls are mine.
Yeah, so get over here, you're going to be some kind of meritocracy. I don't even know if I use that word right, but it doesn't matter because I'm in charge.
You are the cause of the weakness in our country. Stop moving, and I'm going to pull you down the hill.
And why does the project get so much hate on the internet? It's like, it's a cool thing to do. I don't know if you've seen them. There's entire YouTube channels and people that have dedicated their lives.
What you're watching here is the modern day night fake military style boot camp. And I will use the term fake because that's what I am judging it, my opinion based on that. Not saying it's not fake, it is a real program that is out there. However, I will say that this is a program that has been blown up across social media over the past couple of years, essentially because there were issues of people calling it out as a scam and things like that, as it was not worth the value that people were getting out of it.
What do we do about that?
You guys are in terrible shape. I just would like to let that be known. You're in terrible physical condition. I'm sure your wives and girlfriends are proud.
Now it looks like that is officially coming to a close, as the ringleader of this program, they like to call it that, has essentially said it is game over and the lights are turning off, as the end of the classes are happening in only about 1 or 2 classes that are left as of making this video.
The last and final class of the project. 5 years and 20 classes by the time we do our October class. If you follow me on social media, then you know that we are scaling the Squire program, which is a father and son experience. And it will be the end of the project.
If you guys have never heard of the modern day night program, it's been blasted across with advertisements and things like that, as they are people that have military backgrounds that are taking people from an entrepreneur type lifestyle and essentially trying to boost them up and level them up over 75 hours. I don't want to shove any words in their mouth, and they do claim all the time that people are misreading or misrepresenting their entire brand or what is going on here.
One of my favorite ones was this tubby guy with long hair sitting on his mother's living room floor with a microphone, and he's given every fact incorrectly. He's like, there they are in the back of Walmart parking lot, like putting men through this for $18,000 for 75 hours, and they get nothing else out of it. And it's like,
so I'll read straight from their site real quick so I don't mess this up. They say your family deserves the best version of you as a leader, husband, and father. And as you can see here, there have been several classes since 2019, and it says sold out across the board. Class that they're currently having did not have a fully sold out, or people just didn't show up. But as you can see, and you'll see here that there are 6 different opportunities to sign up for this course all through this website, because they're dying for you to sign up, because that's what they're trying to make their money on. They say, attention, the Modern Day Night Project is only for entrepreneurs, executives, and leaders who are ready for a serious breakthrough, in all caps. This exclusive experience isn't for anyone who's just starting their self-development journey. This in-depth experience is for men who are seriously ready and tired of making excuses. And they said, many men are secretly fighting a battle within them that no one knows about. I know this personally because I was one of those men. You're suffering in silence and pushing through life and business. Some days you're barely holding it together. It doesn't have to be that way. Just make sure you guys cue the dramatic music as that plays. That way it motivates people as they need to get off their couch or get out of their desk in their cubicle to make sure they're doing this. They say it all starts with the 75-hour Crucible. This 3-day experience is one of the toughest physical and mental challenges you'll experience, and it's designed to help you shatter your self-doubt and limiting beliefs, gain clarity in your life's work and purpose, heal from trauma that makes you feel broken and unworthy, dig deep into your past and uncover the experiences that are holding you back from achieving greater levels of success in your life. Wow, really preying on the insecurities of the modern day male that are out there. I don't know if I would say I'm totally against the idea of masculinity, of like, yeah, try and make men feel empowered. I'm not against that. But I mean, like, the idea of preying on that at this dollar value, which we'll discuss, is where I kind of have issues with this. And across social media, everyone else has had issues with this as well. Some of their other attributes here are, it says, if you're on this page, recognize that some men seem to have it all, a balance in their 4 F's, faith, fitness, family, and finances. And by the way, a lot of people are knocking this as a fake boot camp because there's so much crossover from this. I'll show a clip from their graduating class. Look at this of them doing push-ups.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 2, 1, 2, 3. 3. 1, 2, 3. 4. 1, 2, 3. 5.
That's the same stuff that we see in boot camp, or the same stuff you do in the military in general. And that is where a lot of people are like, why not just go do that? If you want the credibility, if you want the breakthrough, you want that experience, go do that. Sucks is you have instructors, which we'll get to their credentials as well, and they know these guys are never going to be them. They want to say that they are like them, but the reality is I don't think that they will ever look at them as the same as equals, because there will be always a power dynamic of someone paying versus the receiver of that payment or offering these courses. Now let's talk about the Crucible. So again, the push-ups, we'll talk about the Crucible of the Marines, which use that title as their final training evolution of this, where I will tell you as somebody that I have personally covered high-risk training and done it over at BUDS. I've done it over at Marine Corps recruit training. I've done it for various officer trainings as well. Thousands of hours that these individuals forget that they were, if they were ever in these situations of training in the military, do not hold the same bar of training. They had checks and balances. They had people that were above them that dictated what training was done, how it was done, when it was done, where it was done. And so them creating this class is great, but they forget they were acting on behalf in these capacities as the U.S. military under the U.S. government, which I can tell you provides a ton of protection. On top of that, they don't have the legal ramifications that you'd ever face as long as they are acting within the scope and professionalism of what they were assigned to do in the military. They essentially get to do these types of trainings, right? Now, if they go above and beyond that, that's when they get kicked out. That's when they get in trouble in the military. But these guys don't have any of those checks and balances, don't have any of that top cover of liability in the legal or justice system. So essentially, they are very vulnerable to this, and people have speculated across social media saying they may have been shutting down the doors because of legal lawsuits and things like that. Again, speculation, but I'd love to hear the guys talk about it if that is having any truth, but I doubt they would, because that would ruin their brand. On top of that, as someone that's covered high-risk training, I can tell you that there are a lot of medical things they are not considering from this. I don't understand from any of their frequently asked questions if they're required to pass any kind of medical screening before they even go. That would be important to annotate. On top of that, are these professionals, I would say that's what they're going to say they are they able to actually identify high-risk issues that could happen medically? I will tell you one of those being rhabdomyolysis, which is breakdown of the muscles, which then overloads the kidneys, which then could lead to kidney failure, which could then kill somebody. So I look at that where I'm like, you have to have a lot of checks and balances on the medical side as well to cover you on a legal aspect like this. And I'll let you guys be the judge of credentials and things like that, of if they are actually suitable to run a training like this. And I want you guys to see if they lead from credibility of their past experiences, and if they should be teaching a class like this. It's a lot to investigate if they're not frauds or not, because there are people that have claimed this stuff online that I don't know where to draw the line, because there's so much nuance. So I'm going to leave that judgment up to you guys. So your first instructor is Bedros Keuilian. He has a YouTube channel of 700,000 plus. It says he's the founder of global fitness franchise Fit and Body Bootcamp, and he is the founder of the project. There is also the former Marine and co-founder of the project, Steve Eckert, which, by the way, if you looked at his LinkedIn, for most Marines would laugh at this. It shows that he was an air winger. Most people that are Marines would laugh because of the fact that you're not even infantry doing this, where I don't think you need to be infantry in the Marine Corps to have all credibility and, high standing power, but it looks like he's fit, looks like he's coming at it from the cloud sphere of what the Marine Corps is taught. But we all do know that the infantry side definitely has a tougher experience, and he's not leading from the same experience that fellow Marines in this program, their instructors, have been teaching from. And that's because the next person here is Nick Kumatosis. He's a former Marine Raider and Recon. If you didn't know that, you should know it, because that's his entire tagline for all of his social media and things that he tries to dabble into. And then you have William Barnum, which is a former Navy SEAL. I had not heard of him prior. And then there's Chris Weichman, which is a retired U.S. Air Force survival, evasion, resistance, and escape specialist. Look at those titles, look at those experiences, and say, do you think that the risk mitigation that I've discussed and the checks and balances, do you think that they would have enough skill set to hold a program like this? And from some of the clips I've already shown as well of what you're getting a taste of from this training. So let's get into the cost of if these former entrepreneurs, recon Marines, regular air winger Marines, SEER instructor Air Force guys are actually worth their weight in gold, because this program is quite hefty. Now, that is because this program is $18,000, which is listed on their page. And if you can see, they have 37 spots per class. Now, if you calculate this would be around $2 million per year if they did 4 classes or even 3 classes, which would be around that dollar amount. And I do have to annotate that it does say sold out. Maybe they got money for all of these, but on one of the recent clips on the MDK Instagram, it shows that this class was not actually filled up, but their site said it was sold out. I'll play that right here.
7 of you deserve this graduation. 7 of you earned this graduation. Out of the 25 that had registered for this class, 19 that showed, 7 of you earned this graduation. And so with that said, class 019 of the project, you are secured.
So as you can see, only 7 graduated. I would hope that if I paid $18,000, you would just say, you get it. Because, I mean, I'm coming from a place if I paid money for this out of the 19 that are there. So I don't believe in participation trophies, but I'm like, they paid to get the experience. Just give them the medal, say they made it, is kind of where I'm at with this. And to say, hey, you tried, but you didn't make it, I think that should only come from the place or experience of if you were in the military training for a special operations program or something like that. Also, it should be noted that this program offers no refunds. The second you put in your card information and you pay $18,000, it's in their pockets. There are no refunds. On top of that, if you did want to move the class, you could do that. That's fine. They understood that you could have conflict with your scheduling. However, if you don't show up, you cannot get your money back. And on top of that, you will never be able to roll into any other class or put money towards another program. You are stuck with your money with these people. And I wanted to get to some of the social media things that are being discussed out there because people have actually been talking crap on their page as well. And this is what they have to say. And someone else says, guys, the check's cleared. You've officially graduated. And someone says below that, bros think they are Navy SEALs. It should be annotated that these entrepreneurs, former Marines, whatever, part of the brand in their mentality of this is essentially if they've gotten a few dollars out of people, they don't care how much hate they get. They really don't. And they only can do this by dismissing to the haters on their videos, on their reels, on their Instagram clips, whatever they are, to say people are just haters and that's why they don't matter. They actually did an entire 20-minute video here where essentially they had talked about all the hate they'd gotten and they just use it to make content. And on top of that, even below that, all of the comments are just saying how much of a joke this program actually is.
These are the dudes that I guarantee are miserable in their life. They're not doing anything. They're just talking shit about the people who are doing because they're doing shit. They'll say, why don't you just join the military? Well, because every motherfucker doesn't want to or need to go join the military for 4 years and go off to war and whatever else. It has nothing to do with the military. It has to do with a whole different realm than the military. It has nothing to do with it.
And actually, you can speak on this because you were in the Marine Corps. You also are the lead instructor at the project. How similar is the military and what we do, or to what we do at the project for those 75
Well, in the
hours?
military, first of all, if you just take any 3-day period, the project is absolutely harder than any 3-day in military boot camp, just if you take 3 for 3. But in the military, you know, you're on a contract, you're there for 4 years, your boot camp is lasting 13 weeks. It's not just 3 days. So it's a whole different realm. You know, there's a possibility of you going off to war. There's all these other things going on that are variables into it. Has nothing to do with the military. These guys have no desire or need to go into the military, especially at certain different, they're all in different points of their life. It has nothing to do with the military. They just want to have something to say to talk shit about it.
And I feel like from a military dude to other military dudes, I can break this down a little bit further as someone that's been through high-risk training, someone that's actually conducted the supervision of high-risk training. I can actually bring a lot of stuff to this where I'm like, this needed to end a couple years ago or even from the start. Number one is they talk a lot about mental health from this. None of the people here are mental health professionals. None of them have any education or background in it other than they've had anecdotal experiences of getting over trials and tribulations through some of their own experiences, which I do find value in, but they are only one or the few instructors' point of references in order to conduct this training. I do believe they could have brought in some kind of resiliency coaching, people that had certifications, people that actually had backgrounds in this, master's degrees or whatever else, that could have well diversified some of the goals and intentions they had from this program. And that leads them to some kind of lawsuit, because if they didn't get that out of this, I'm like, Well, what do you expect? Like, none of these guys are professionals. However, I will read their disclaimer right here. They say nothing on this page, any of our websites, or any of our content or curriculum is a promise or guarantee of results of future earnings. We do not offer any legal, medical, tax, or other professional advice. You alone are responsible and accountable for your decisions, actions, and results in life. And by your registration here, you agree not to attempt to hold us liable for your decisions, actions, or results at any time under any circumstance. They're really trying to avoid the lawsuits, if you can't tell. My next point of this is you are trying to lead from a point of authority where immediately show up and that's it. And the idea of any military training, whether it be Marine Corps boot camp, Navy, whatever, is to try and break you down. And that takes a couple days, week, whatever else. However, once that breakdown does occur and you shave your head, you're no longer dressed the way you normally would dress, and you're in a totally new environment, you're being shocked by all these things. That is something you have to understand, that when you are in training like this, 75 hours is not enough to break you down. We understand that in any military training, it is breakdown, build up, and it is to teach you things, right? So it's not all just yelling. So it is to teach you things, let you practice them, let you try and be tested on those things, and then go out and execute those things, because that is how training actually occurs, not over 75 hours. And I already know I'm going to get all the guys that are on this course or program to say, but Nicky, we do coaching for a whole 12 months after this. Is that weekly? Is that daily? Is that monthly? When are those trainings happening? You're at a distance at this point. Whereas military training, you are there every single second of the day, where it allows for that nuanced training to occur at a transformative rate over weeks and even months. And my last thoughts on this are the ideas that the coaching is going to continue on as you're going into the last class and they're promoting it. They're going to tell you, yeah, we're going to give you guys full 12 months of our best effort. I doubt that's going to happen, because they are already talking about moving on to the next project. So if I was a person that was looking to go into the next class, I would say, like, well, are you really invested in me if this is the 12 months after you're shutting down this program? Sure, you have to deliver it, but are you truly invested like you were in previous class? As always, the conversation of whether this training is necessary. Do you think that there are cultural issues of men being soft, that programs like this should exist or not? And what are your thoughts on that versus just join the regular military? Do you think these guys should just join the military if they're already execs and, business entrepreneurs that are making good money? Let me know down in the comments below, because I think that's where the conversation continues. And if you are a member of this class or one of the classes, I'd love to hear your thoughts of what you got out of it. And if you are an instructor, put down in the comments your thoughts as well. I'd love to hear them. But as always, if you guys like what I cover on the channel, hit me up over on Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, TikTok, or down in the comments below. I love you guys. I'll see you next time.